Welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's time for another World of Warships Wednesday with Orange Fan. Today I'm sailing out my ARP Takao again. And this was a pretty high tier battle. It was okay, you'll see. Now, from the title and from the intro, when I talk about one player making all the difference, you'll see that I'm not actually talking about me. Also, this was the first time I'd seen a Shokaku for World of Warships, so I kind of zoomed in there to take a little bit of look at it, but didn't really have time to focus in too hard. Was a little worried that the Shimakaze over here on my side was going to be AFK. Sent a message saying, come on, man. Please don't be AFK. You're the only guy over here on my side, and most of our team is nowhere near, or at least not getting here anytime soon. And sometimes I kind of forget that unlike War Thunder, World of Warships, you can just sort of spawn in when you're ready, and there isn't the built-in delay for everyone so that everybody gets a fair start. And some people are on hard drives or not as fast computers, and that's all there was to it. So there he was. Which actually was fine, because as in Shimakaze, he's going to be way faster than me anyway, and he'll certainly catch up and overtake me if he so desires to travel this direction. So as we're pushing up here towards the A point, probing a little bit, I'm trying to be slightly cautious and not just blast right in full speed straight on head, because I know we're in a pretty high tier battle here. Been detected, trying to decide if it's those fighters, which I'm pretty sure it is. Get my own fighter launched up and try to set the auto fire on the enemy fighter squadron so that hopefully they get within range of my own fighters and we can kind of trap them in my AAA umbrella and see if I can't shoot a few of them down. And me being spotted means me being shotted, so I'm going to turn around and head back, and then as soon as I start my turn, a enemy Montana is revealed. He's outside of my guns, and yeah, it's time to turn around and head back towards friendly cover. Also, there's a cyclone coming, so that's an even better reason to turn around and swing back towards friendly lines a little bit until we get the added benefit of some cover here, which can close the range gap between my own guns and those large battleship guns up there, which you can see. There are at least 3 battleships and a cruiser up there, and that's some bad news for me and my cruiser all by myself. Oh, and they have air on their side, so... And oh look, there's another battleship coming, so at least 4 battleships and a cruiser north of A. That's some bad news right there. For the most part, I'm avoiding their shots, which is good. I turned back at the right time, and I didn't take a whole lot of significant damage there, so that's very good. I didn't really deal a whole lot of significant damage, but at this point, surviving to continue to hold down this side of the map and keep the enemy engaged and not let them move over and join in the fight against the middle is probably just as well. Let the team know what I've seen here, and let the 2 battleships and the carrier know that are coming over to the side what we've got. Try to get some shots on the enemy Shimakaze there, and those just sort of sail off into oblivion and never really hit anything except probably some poor unsuspecting fish on the surface of the ocean. Now, when I talk about one player making a difference, I'm talking about that friendly Bismarck right there. Not the enemy one that I'm zoomed in on, but the friendly one right there. And you'll see what I mean soon enough. And in this case, it's unfortunately not... It's you'll see soon enough, unfortunately, not you'll see soon enough, thankfully. So, anyway, enough being cryptic. You'll see it when we get to it. So as for right now, we're up 1 ship on the enemy, as an enemy Takao was just taken out. And here comes an interesting little skirmish here, as I'm trying to move up to join in with my friendlies up here. We're all just a little bit too spread out, and the enemy ships are just a little bit too concentrated for this to really be a good tactical situation. They're a little too far away for me to be able to hit them, except for this Yugamo here. So all I can really do is spot him and make sure that that New Orleans knows that you've got a destroyer really close to you, man, and you should probably do what you can to finish him, because I'm a little too far away and a little bit too far on the wrong side of this island here to be able to help you. But I soon make some pretty short work of that Yugumo with the help of a friendly Yugumo. Yugumo, I don't know, however you pronounce it. At any rate, in the meantime, the Montana, the Hipper, the enemy Bismarck, the Amagi, and all the other ships of the entire western side of their fleet here have closed into much closer range, and it's getting a little scary. So they're not quite within range of my torpedoes, but by the time they get to where I'm aiming the torpedoes on the other side of that strait there, they will be within range. So I punch off both the port side spreads and come about as hard as I can to the right to try and send the second set up there too. Now I may not be able to actually hit them, but I'm going to do what I can to deny that area. And here's where we're talking about one person making a difference, negatively in this case, but first off, he's just sailing blindly in, charging against 3 to 4 enemy battleships plus a cruiser. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish there, because he could have kept them engaged just as well from behind that island or even farther back. But anyway, our team would pay for that a little bit later. So we've got this Montana on fire, and I should have switched over to HE shells much sooner than I did here, because I probably could have actually done some significant fire damage on that Montana. But I was really concentrating on my driving and getting the heck away from him before I took too many significant hits. Now, if I'd had HE loaded here instead of AP, I probably set him on fire and do a significant damage rollback on him. But sadly, I didn't switch over to HE until after this salvo right here. I also probably should have fired at the Neptune rather than the Montana, but I just wanted to see how much damage I could do and potentially knock out his guns. Also, I was really hoping that he wouldn't see my torpedoes, but looks like he saw them and was able to stop and steer away. The rest of them all seem to have seen the torpedoes too, but at least in this case they did function in the secondary area denial capacity, which I always look for with my torpedo salvos, so while I didn't hit anyone and cause any damage or flooding or sink anybody, I did at least stop them in their advance there at that strait and get them to stop, if nothing else, and back up a little bit, if not turn around and go a different way. So there was that anyway. So we've got a battleship with us left on this side, but we could have had another one, and we really could have used another one here. The Binky there in his Shimakaze is kind of out by himself, and there's not a lot I can do to get to him to help, really. Although I am trying, and now that the Cyclone has finally arrived over the battlefield, we've got a little more cover that we can move up a little closer, so that's what I'm going to try to do here. And there's that Shimakaze again. So take a long distance shot on him to try and hopefully splash down some damage on him. It's just too far away, and he's slightly maneuvering, which is enough for the extreme range of the gunshots there for them to be off target. So all my torpedoes are reloaded, and I'm going to see if I can't detect some enemy ships here between my sonar and my catapult fighter. Hopefully that the enemy will have their AAA turned on still and fire on my catapult fighter and reveal themselves. I can still see where they are based off of what Binky can see there, the Binky in his Shimakaze. But at least I was able to warn him out ahead of time that I'm going to fire torpedoes from behind him and try and cover his retreat here in his tactical withdrawal ahead of these two enemy battleships. And then do what I can to try and get some HE rounds on that enemy Bismarck and set him on fire. Which does happen. So I've got him on fire. I'm really hoping he'll sail into the path of my torpedoes, although he's not really going fast enough to do so. And either the torpedoes will put him on the bottom or the fire will, but either way. Trying to cover my friendly destroyer's retreat and get him back to friendly lines where he can hopefully fire off some of his own torpedo barrages and cover our retreats if we need to withdraw tactically back to the east, as we're slowly getting encircled here by the approaching enemy fleets on both sides of the map. So while I'm waiting, hoping, crossing my fingers, looking at my stopwatch, I actually get a strike with my second shot of torpedoes there. Rather astonishingly, I didn't really think I was going to get him. And then suddenly one of the torpedoes strikes home, and there it is. One sunk battleship. So that helps a bit. At least one battleship in the west side has finally gone down. That evens up the score now. 6 ships remaining per side. Pretty even spread, although we've actually got more battleships and they have more cruisers. Other than that, it's even. I'm detected by this enemy hipper. And I just don't get very good hits on him from the sort of head-on aspect I'm firing at him here, sadly. While I'm waiting to see where he's going to turn here to try and get a good follow-up salvo on him. He gets a relatively good hit on me here with his main guns. And I'm hoping that he's going to sail into my torpedoes here, but I'm going to continue to fire at him and just pray that I get something through his armor. He's pretty vulnerable to get killed here, and a whole bunch of my shots just bounce off the side. And right as he's about to come around for another broadside, he floods out from our Shokaku. Which was fine, because he was probably going to hurt me, and I'm all out of damage control parties to get myself more HP built back up. So now that we're down 4-5 here, it's not too bad of a score just yet, although we have lost our Shimakaze and they have a destroyer left. I'm going to head up to A and see if I can't take one of their capture points back away from them and start slowly swinging the ticket bleed back in our, well, not in our favor, but at least slowing it down somewhat out of their favor. Also, I'm going to try and push up in front, north of our carrier to give him a little more breathing room. And it would have been nice to still have a battleship over here on the west side. As you'll see shortly, it would have been really nice to have a battleship still over on the west side of the map. So I'm detected due to the enemy fighters that are moving in and encroaching on our friendly carrier. And there was a reason for that, which unfortunately wasn't quite clear at the time. I hadn't been playing particularly high-tier battles recently when I was playing this, but let's take a double strike from the enemy bomber force. Able to put the fire out and then zoom in on the enemy Shimakaze located here. And then right as I mark where the enemy Shimakaze is, the Shokaku appears inside the capture point off to the north. Danger close. Now I'm able to dodge his first squadron's torpedoes because he fired them off just a little bit too close to me, but I just didn't have enough time to do anything else but get a first salvo off on him before his second squadron's torpedoes are gonna just utterly destroy my ship because I had nowhere near enough health left. And I didn't even get a good hit on him, but all I could do, hopefully, at that point was just let the team know that he was there. And this is where having our battleship left would have been really nice. because we've got an aircraft carrier just sitting up in A who just launched all of his salvos of everything on me and is pretty vulnerable right now. So our Missouri is in danger close on the New Orleans and the Shimakaze here. He's taken a bit of damage from both of them, but he's able to sail into the Shimakaze's smoke and use it to his own advantage and finish off the Shimakaze with his main guns there. And then right as we're almost able to take advantage of this, the Cyclone goes away and suddenly everybody's spotted. So trying to let our Missouri know that the the aircraft carrier is there, but I think he's more worried about the capital ships that are shooting at him, which is completely understandable and I think probably justified. Unfortunately, he's just getting hammered by everything there. Now that's the Imagi that was all the way out in the north originally. He swung around to the middle and came down the center. And they hit their 1,000 tickets, and that's the end of the battle. But, all things considered, it wasn't the worst ARP Takao battle I've ever had, even though I didn't even really do that well on the team, as you'll see, but damage-wise wasn't a lot, but I kind of held not by myself by any means, but sort of held down the west side and kept a lot of the enemy fleet tied up over in the west where they could have moved to the center and helped, so I don't know. I think this battle could have gone better for all of us, but at least I made a profit, so there's that. At any rate, that's it for today. I hope to see you guys again next Wednesday for more World of Warships, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Have a great day.